Locals call it the tek-tek or the monoprey, and it has earned itself a unique and fearsome reputation. Though Cambodia is home to more than 800 species of mammals, birds, and reptiles.
Ever wonder what could make jungles even scarier than they already are? From flesh-stripping army ants to the terrifying Candiru fish lurking in the depths, jungles are full of creatures that make your skin crawl. But what if we told you there's a tiny frog with enough poison to take out 20,000 mice? Or a tribe that might just see you as their next meal? And that's not even the creepiest part. What if the jungle's scariest discoveries aren't just what we can see, but the things we can't explain? 1. Caught in the fairy trap. Two grown men, dressed like they're on a secret mission, stumble around a dense forest. They're not after big game or rare birds. They're hunting for tiny fae folk. Meet Erwin Saunders and his buddy, who seem determined to track down some elusive pixie-like creatures. Their high-tech plan? Hiding out in a portable toilet that they drag deep into the woods. Oh, and they've got adorable little princess-themed walkie-talkies for communication. This is serious business. Sort of. Their strategy involves blending into the environment, staying as inconspicuous as possible. But when Erwin's buddy radios in, he gets no answer. Something's up. That's when it happens. Just as Erwin peers out of his makeshift hideout, a tiny humanoid figure steps off a mossy rock right in front of him. It's small, strangely delicate, and seems completely unaware it's been spotted. Frozen in disbelief, Erwin watches as this little creature makes its way across the jungle floor, vanishing back into the undergrowth as suddenly as it appeared. Whatever it was, they caught a glimpse, and it's got them convinced they were onto something all along. If you want to see more wild discoveries like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. 2. Whale in the woods. Imagine stumbling upon a 36-foot humpback whale in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. Sounds impossible, right? Yet, that's exactly what happened on Marajó Island near Brazil's Araruna Beach, where a gigantic marine mammal was found stranded in the dense undergrowth. This 10-ton creature ended up deep in the jungle, far from its ocean home. Experts think the whale, a young calf around a year old, succumbed out at sea before powerful waves and extreme tides tossed it inland, depositing it in a swampy mangrove surrounded by thick trees. A local team ventured to the scene, capturing footage of the massive animal sprawled out in the muddy landscape. With no visible injuries on the whale's body, the real mystery is how it ended up in such an unlikely spot. Biologists quickly stepped in to take samples, hoping to get clues about the whale's last moments. One thing's for sure, this stranded giant has sparked a lot of questions, and the jungle isn't giving up its secrets easily. 3. The jungle's hidden hazard. Deep in certain jungle regions, a truly lethal threat hides in plain sight: the death cap mushroom. Unlike most toxic fungi that just cause a nasty bout of vomiting or headaches, these mushrooms carry a far more lethal punch. Even a single half cap is enough to end a grown adult's life, making it one of the most dangerous mushrooms in the world. What makes them so treacherous is their innocent appearance. They often look like harmless, edible varieties and, to make matters worse, are rumored to taste pretty good. The real danger lies in how deceptively delayed the symptoms can be. After eating one, you might feel just fine, only to fall seriously ill days later, when it's often too late. Although death caps were once limited to Scandinavian forests in Northern Europe, the introduction of non-native trees has allowed them to spread. In some parts of North America, these mushrooms are appearing more frequently, creating unexpected risks in areas where they hadn't been seen before. Even on the most secluded jungle trails, these toxic fungi could be quietly hiding beneath the foliage. 4. The mystery of the Naga fireballs. Every year, something strange happens along the Mekong River in Thailand and Laos, a phenomenon that has baffled people for centuries.
Thousands of people will flock to Pakgum district tonight, hoping to witness the strange phenomenon of the Naga fireballs.
The Naga fireballs are a sight that no one can fully explain. At night, thousands of glowing red orbs rise from the river and shoot up into the sky, as if by magic. They appear every October, during the full moon, and they've been reported for over 1,000 years. The Naga fireballs are named after the Naga, a mythical serpent believed to live in the Mekong River. According to local legend, these fiery balls are the Naga's way of sending gifts to the people. It's said that the river serpent exhales fireballs into the air, lighting up the sky in a breathtaking display of mystery and wonder. But not everyone believes in the legend. Some scientists think the fireballs might be caused by natural gas seeping from the riverbed, which ignites when it meets the air. Others think the glow could be caused by a rare combination of factors like atmospheric conditions and the reflection of light. But despite numerous theories, no one has been able to definitively prove what's behind the Naga fireballs. 5. The Jungle Terror. Venture deep into the heart of Cambodia's dense jungles, and you might just find yourself face to face with something that defies logic. Locals call it the Tek-Tek, a towering 7-foot creature with matted hair and an unsettling presence. For years, the Tek-Tek has haunted the shadows, avoiding human contact, but its legend continues to grow. Josh Gates and his team from Expedition X took on the challenge to uncover the truth behind this elusive beast. They weren't the first to seek answers, though. A Green Beret named Robert Gale, who served in the late 60s during the Vietnam War, had his own chilling encounter with the creature while on a classified mission in Cambodia. Gale and his team were ambushed in the jungle by something that seemed out of place. As they tried to make sense of the attack, they saw it, an ape-like creature, towering and dark, climbing trees with ease. But what sent a chill down their spines was the eerie smell and the creature's mud-caked body, as if it had been living in the wild for years. The team was bombarded with rocks from above, but it was the creature's gaze that haunted Gale. In that moment, eye contact was made, and the sense of terror became real. Is the Tek-Tek a creature of legend? Or is there something far more dangerous lurking in the Cambodian wilderness? Josh and his team may have been the latest to investigate, but this jungle mystery still remains unsolved. The question is, will anyone ever get the truth, or will the Tek-Tek remain a terrifying figure of the jungle? 6. Island of the Dolls. Not far from Mexico City, there's an island that stands out for all the wrong reasons. Welcome to Isla de las Muñecas, the Island of the Dolls. This place is like no other, with no electricity, running water, and only a few wooden shacks dotting the landscape. But what really makes it unforgettable is the dozens of dolls that hang from trees, buildings, and just about anything else they can be attached to. The legend behind the island is just as strange as the dolls that now cover its trees and buildings. It's said that many years ago, a young girl tragically drowned in the nearby canal. Local legend tells of Don Julian Santana Barrera, a man who lived on the island and discovered her body. In the aftermath of this heartbreaking event, Julian found a doll floating nearby, which he believed belonged to the girl. He hung it up in tribute, but that's when things took a darker turn. After placing the doll, Julian began to hear voices, whispers, and soft calls, which he believed were from the girl's spirit, or maybe from something else entirely. To ward off these restless spirits, he started collecting dolls from around the area, hanging them up wherever he could. The more dolls he found, the more the island became overrun with them. 7. Cannibals, headhunters, and a whole lot of drama. Let's take a trip to the jungles of Papua New Guinea, where the Asmat tribe lives and where things get pretty intense. These folks weren't just about carving beautiful wooden sculptures. They were also known for their intense and terrifying practices of headhunting and cannibalism. It's the stuff of legends and nightmares, but for the Asmat, it was all in a day's work. First, let's talk headhunting. This wasn't a hobby, folks. It was part of their spiritual belief system. The Asmat didn't just want any heads. They wanted to take the heads of their enemies to trap their souls. It was like the ultimate power move. They believed that by claiming their foes' heads, they could absorb their power and keep their own tribe protected from evil spirits. Imagine that level of commitment to really wanting to have the upper hand. Their trophies weren't just for display either. These skulls were symbols of strength and proof of their status in the tribe. Now, to make things even more intense, these weren't just any random skulls. They often ended up as the main ingredient in cannibalistic feasts. After a raid, the Asmat tribe would consume the flesh of their enemies, believing it would grant them the power and spirit of the person they'd just taken down. Yep, you heard that right. They thought eating human flesh would make them stronger and more connected to their ancestors. It wasn't about just eating their enemies. It was about spiritual absorption, and it made them feel invincible. And this wasn't some ancient practice that stayed in the past. The Asmat tribe continued their headhunting and cannibalistic traditions well into the 20th century, with some of their practices being reported as recently as the 1970s. You might be relieved to know that they've moved away from those practices today, but the dark legacy of their history still looms large. 8. Ghosts of the Death Road. Camino de la Muerte, or Death Road, is one of those places you've heard about, but you're not sure if you're brave enough to try. This narrow, winding road through Bolivia's jungle has it all. Sharp turns, steep cliffs, and a history that makes it one of the most infamous routes around. It's the kind of road that gets your adrenaline pumping just by thinking about it. But wait, there's more. The spooky part? People say the jungle surrounding the road is full of ghosts. Travelers have reported seeing shadowy figures creeping through the mist, and some even claim to hear whispers on the wind. It's almost like the spirits of past travelers are hanging around, making sure everyone stays on their toes. Despite the eerie vibe, people still flock to the Death Road. Whether it's for the challenge or just to say you survived, this place draws a crowd. And while you might be dodging drops and sharp turns, there's always the chance you'll catch a glimpse of something, or someone, that's not quite of this world. 9. The river that could cook you. Deep in the heart of the Amazon, there's a river that's too hot for anything to survive. So hot, in fact, that it could cook you in an instant. It's called Shanay Timpishka, or the Boiling River, and it lives up to its name. Found in Peru, this river is the stuff of legends and reality combined. We're talking temperatures that reach 210 degrees Fahrenheit, almost double what your average bathtub feels like. Put your hand in, and you're looking at serious burns before you even know what hit you. For years, the river was just a local legend. As a child, Andres Ruzo grew up hearing stories from his grandfather about a mythical city of gold buried somewhere in the jungle. But he never expected those tales would lead him to one of the world's most extraordinary natural wonders. As a geothermal scientist, Andres decided to investigate, and what he found was beyond belief. He discovered the Boiling River, a place so hot that no living thing can survive in its waters. Some local shamans even believe it's the home of a powerful water spirit, adding an air of mystery to the already stunning location. But the river's not just a place of myth, it's a serious natural phenomenon. Imagine standing near the river's edge, feeling that thick, hot air hitting you like a wall. It's not just uncomfortable, it's intense. The heat literally makes your lungs feel like they're cooking as you breathe it in. 10. The Jungle Ghost Village of Hawaii. In 1990, a little Hawaiian village called Kalapana was wiped off the map, thanks to Kilauea, one of the most active volcanoes in the world. Lava poured down from the volcano and swallowed the entire village, leaving it completely buried. But instead of just disappearing into the past, nature decided to preserve it in a pretty wild way. Fast forward a few years, and Kalapana wasn't just gone, it had turned into a jungle ghost village. The jungle slowly crept in, covering what was left of the town in thick greenery. Walk deep enough, and you'll find remnants of the village still standing, hidden beneath vines and moss. Abandoned homes, roads, and foundations peeking through the foliage like something straight out of a ghost story. Locals say it feels like the spirits of Kalapana never really left. People who've explored the area report strange sounds and shadowy figures darting between the trees. It's almost like the village, now a jungle ghost town, is still holding on to its past, even after being buried in lava. 11. Valeriana, the lost Mayan city rediscovered. When archaeologists came upon Valeriana, a massive Mayan city buried deep beneath Mexico's jungle canopy, it wasn't just a discovery, it was a terrifying revelation. This once thriving city, home to up to 50,000 people, had been lost to time, hidden by the relentless growth of the jungle for centuries. But as we all know, nature's secrets don't stay hidden forever. The city was rediscovered thanks to modern radar technology and a bit of curiosity from an archaeologist browsing data online. What they found was a sprawling urban complex filled with 7,000 buildings, including pyramids, sports fields, and even an amphitheater. On the surface, it might seem like a fascinating peek into an ancient civilization, but there's something unsettling about how long this city remained forgotten, and how easily it could have stayed that way. There's a darker side to this discovery. The Maya didn't just vanish. Valeriana's ruin is tied to the collapse of the civilization, triggered by a mix of war, climate change, and the Spanish invasion. So, as archaeologists uncover these long-buried remnants, it raises the question, could the same forces that led to its downfall still be lurking today? 12. Flesh-stripping army ants. In the African jungles, there's an army that's both terrifying and unstoppable: army ants. These massive colonies are known for their sheer numbers and brutal efficiency. When they move through the jungle, it's like a tidal wave of terror. They'll swarm anything in their path, larger animals, including mammals, reptiles, and even birds. And within minutes, they'll strip them down to the bone. It's not just a few ants here and there. We're talking millions, all working in unison like a living, breathing machine. Their powerful jaws can tear through flesh with ease, and while they're not out to hunt for food in the traditional sense, their sheer numbers make them a force to be reckoned with. What's even more frightening is that they don't stop until there's nothing left but bones. The speed at which they work is ridiculous. What could be a fight for survival for larger creatures is often over in an instant. While these ants have evolved to work together like an incredibly coordinated team, it's their unpredictable nature and relentless drive that make them one of the most frightening jungle creatures you'll never want to encounter. Their hunger for destruction is as efficient as it is terrifying, making them one of the scariest jungle discoveries you never want to cross paths with. 13. Snake Island. If you're dreaming of a tropical getaway, Snake Island in Brazil is the last place you want to end up. This little slice of land, officially called Isla de Queimada Grande, is home to thousands of golden lancehead pit vipers. And let's just say, the snakes here aren't looking for a beach buddy. Located about 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo, Snake Island is a snake lover's worst nightmare. With around 2,000 to 4,000 snakes slithering around, these venomous creatures outnumber humans by a whole lot. The golden lancehead pit viper is one of the most dangerous snakes on Earth, and its bite is no joke. One bite can end a person's life in under an hour, so yeah, not exactly a fun time. But here's where it gets even crazier. These snakes can survive for months without food. If they can't snack on the island's favorite dish, migrating birds, they're just chilling and waiting until they can hunt again. That's some serious patience. Or maybe they just really enjoy the challenge of not eating. Either way, it's pretty terrifying to think about these snakes lurking around, waiting for the next meal to come their way. Snake Island is a no-go zone for pretty much everyone. The Brazilian government has made sure it's off-limits to tourists, and we can see why. They don't want people going there and becoming snake snacks. Even the few scientists who are allowed to visit can only stay for short periods of time. Getting too close to the island? Yeah, that might be the last mistake you ever make. And if you think the snakes are bad, the island itself isn't exactly a tropical paradise you want to explore. With dense forests and steep cliffs, getting trapped there would be a nightmare. It's a snake-infested jungle, where getting bitten could be the least of your worries. So, unless you're a huge fan of snakes, and we mean a huge fan, it's probably best to leave Snake Island on your bucket list, as a place to admire from a safe distance. 14. Bright, bold, and toxic. At first glance, poison dart frogs look like something straight out of a cartoon. Vibrant and tiny, almost too cute to be dangerous. But don't let their colors fool you. These frogs are some of the most toxic creatures on the planet. Native to the rainforests of Central and South America, their skin is packed with deadly toxins like batrachotoxin. A single touch could send a predator into paralysis, or worse. Now, if you thought the regular poison dart frog was terrifying, meet the golden poison dart frog. This little powerhouse is the undisputed champ of frog toxins. With its bright yellow skin, it's basically a neon warning sign saying, "Don't even think about it." Found mostly in Colombia, this frog is serious business. Here's where it gets insane. One golden poison dart frog has enough toxin to take out 20,000 mice. Yep, you heard that right. 20,000. The venom in their skin is so potent that even the slightest touch can be lethal. While humans don't often come into contact with them, the outcome wouldn't be pretty if they did. For centuries, indigenous people have harnessed the frog's poison, soaking their blow darts in it to make their weapons deadly. Imagine that. Tiny frogs with enough venom to take down prey with a single shot. Talk about jungle ingenuity. 15. The Amazon's flesh-eating Candiru fish. The Amazon River is home to some of the most bizarre and terrifying creatures on Earth, and one of the most infamous is the Candiru fish. Known as the vampire fish or flesh-eating fish, this tiny creature is the stuff of nightmares. What makes the Candiru so terrifying isn't its size. It's only about 2-3 inches long, but its shocking hunting method. The Candiru has a disturbing habit of swimming up into the gills of larger fish to feast on their blood. But it's also been known to attack humans. Legend has it that the Candiru, attracted to the warmth and moisture of human flesh, has been known to swim up unsuspecting people's, well, let's just say it's an area no one wants a fish going. Once inside, it latches on and begins feeding on its victim's blood, often causing excruciating pain. The idea of a flesh-eating fish taking up residence inside your body? Yeah, it's just as horrifying as it sounds. Though stories of its human attacks might be exaggerated, there's no denying how dangerous this fish can be in the waters of the Amazon. With its piercing spines and insatiable hunger for blood, the Candiru fish is a true jungle horror waiting beneath the water's surface. 16. The miraculous survival of 4 kids in the Colombian jungle. In a story that seems straight out of a survival thriller, 4 children were found alive after 40 days lost in the dense, treacherous Colombian jungle. This isn't your typical getting lost in the woods tale. These kids were stranded after a plane crash that took the lives of 3 adults, including their mother. The youngest of them was just 11 months old, and the oldest, a 13-year-old, led the pack as they navigated through a jungle thick with predators, insects, and unforgiving terrain. Their journey began on May 1st, when their plane vanished from radar and the wreckage was discovered, but no sign of the children. What followed was a massive weeks-long search dubbed Operation Hope. Colombian military teams, along with local indigenous leaders, scoured the forest, going from the ground to the sky in search of the missing kids. They found clues, like a bottle, a diaper, and footprints. But despite their efforts, they couldn't find the children. The jungle wasn't just difficult to navigate. It was home to wild creatures, thick underbrush, and dangers at every corner. Even a search dog, Wilson, went missing during the operation. Yet, hope never fully faded. The real breakthrough came when, after weeks of despair, rescuers heard something promising. They began playing a recording over a helicopter loudspeaker, a message from the children's grandparents urging them to stay put because help was on the way. Then, after 40 long days, the impossible happened. The children, cold and scared but alive, were found in the heart of the jungle. They were exhausted, clinging to each other, yet still standing. What makes this discovery so unnerving isn't just the survival aspect, it's how the children managed to survive at all. The jungle is relentless, with wild animals, dangerous plants, and the constant threat of the unknown. The odds of these kids making it through such a harrowing experience are incredibly slim. What kept them alive for 40 days? That's the big mystery. It wasn't just luck. It was resourcefulness, resilience, and maybe something even harder to define. Which jungle mystery would you want to survive? Army ants or a flesh-eating fish?